Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the second round of the Scottish Championship bike racing. In this week's programme, it's the biggest grid that we've got. It's a Superstocks 600. If you remember back to the first round, action-packed all the way. You're in for a real treat today.
So the 125s for the Knockhill Motorsports Club has got Watson, Green, Mackenzie and McLean on the front row, Rollo, Johnson and Vernon on the second row, Costin, McGaw, Robson, Page, with Francis and Costin on the back row of the grid. Keep your eyes on Francis coming through the field. But here we're under starters orders. We're on board with Jason Vernon. Perfect weather conditions, Dennis, and we've got a couple of GP bikes which are here, which is going to make it very interesting. Somebody in the wrong grid slot there. They just get moved over a little bit. Always a little bit embarrassing when you get in the wrong grid slot. But here we go. We're waiting for the green flag at the back. The green flag is waved and we're under starters orders. The red lights are on. And away we go, down towards the first corner. What a cracking start by Kai Johnson on the little yellow Aprilia in the middle there. But the GP bikes are away at the front. And who's going to lead at the first corner? It looks like it could be... Who was that coming through there? Is it Mackenzie who leads at the front? One of the bikes coming through as well. Then we've got Ryan Watson third place right now as we come in towards Scotsman Corner.
I think that might have been the man Joe Francis that was coming through from the back of the grid there, but Tara Mackenzie leading the way. Catherine Green in second place, followed by Ryan Watson on the Colin Appleyard Macadam racing bike, and obviously he's teammates with Daniel Kinlock, who we'll see in the Superstocks 600 race later on. Adam
McLean in a fine fourth place just now. There's a little KTM, the orange KTM. Tara Mackenzie comes through the corner and heads towards it, and that must have been Joe Francis coming through there. He come through like an absolute missile for the back row.
Yeah, I think we've got to keep our eyes out as well. Obviously we've had a guy in this class, Lewis Rollo, that's been dominant in the Aprilia 125s, but now on a GP bike this weekend. Very first time on a GP bike, Duncan, and let's see what he can do against the guys that are in British Championship right at the front of the racing.
So we're on board looking back with Kai Johnson at the hairpin there as Kai picks a little Formula 125 bike up, but listen to the little screaming 125s as they head down towards the first corner. Mackenzie, Green and Watson tuck the things through the top of the first corner, and these things, probably the highest corner speed of the day, Dennis, is going to come from those GP 125s.
Yeah, and obviously the first four or five guys in the GP 125s out here again using this as tests and ready for the British Superbikes coming up, so it's great to see them out on track with part of the Knockhill Motorsports Club. And there's been a crasher there. I saw the marshals around there, and that's Ryan Watson. That's Ryan Watson that's gone
not
down.
A good place to go down there for young Ryan. Let's hope he gets some walks away from that one. Bike line just at the first apex curve of the chicane. Strange place to go down, but we're still racing, and we've got Tara Mackenzie coming in towards the open here, and Catherine Green is reeling him in. Catherine Green has got the hook in at the back of him and definitely reeling him in. There's Ryan Watson walking away in the background. Great stuff that, well, great stuff that he's walking, but he will not be happy that he's put that little RS125 down the street. He'll be rather annoyed at that, well, young Ryan. The Seal bike that he's on there, one of the Seals, and good to see them out here. They did have a lot of reliability issues for a couple of years, but they're just as quick as the Honda engined RS125s now.
Yeah, Kai Johnson looking back at Jason Vernon. Jason Vernon just not able to get into the slipstream of Kai Johnson, and Kai's got that probably 2-second cushion over Jason at the moment, and let's see if Jason can get his head down and try and chase that gap back in as we're looking back in again in towards the top of Circuit Curve, and you can see how much corner speed these guys carry in.
Through the top off Circuit Curves and down through Leslie. Kai Johnson this time is the man on a mission on his little Formula 125 Aprilia. Of course, he doesn't have Lewis Rollo in front of him this time on a Formula 125 because Lewis is on the GP bike, as you say, then, and it will be good to see how he slots in.
Yeah, that's right, and like I say, probably for Kyle, he's leading the race outright in terms of the Formula 125s. It's not the GP bikes, the Formula 125s, the Aprilia Super Team style bikes, and looking really good out there, Kai Johnson. Obviously on a metric kit last year. We've talked a lot about Kai Johnson over the previous programme as well, but improving all the time. Look at this, Catherine Green side by side with Tara Mackenzie in towards the top of Circuit Curve, and Catherine Green takes the lead from young Tara, and I think Taz will be a little bit annoyed with that one.
Yeah, teammates they are, but when they're on track it's all about winning. Both run by RS Racing, Ryan Saxelby, and a very quick man who ran, I forget the name of the chap now, but he was a dominant man in GP125s and the BSB for quite a few years. But yeah, he's just been past his turn there, and he will be Mr. Aggressive in a couple of minutes. There's still a bit of Ryan Watson's bike at the side of the track as we go up towards the John O'Weir chicane there, but thankfully it is well off the racing line. You can see Ryan sitting on the tyre wall there, rather dejected that he's gone down there. I'm just thinking that'll probably be the bike that Dean Brown would have raced in 125s.
Yeah, quite possibly it'll be a similar bike, if not a newer engine possibly in that machine. As we're looking back at the yellow outfit Banks Racing of Joe Francis, and like I say, using it as track time as well, and he's being chased down in the background.
James Lodge. I knew you'd get it in the end. That's been annoying me. It's been annoying me. That was the name I was forgetting there. But yeah, up the main straight, you can see the little GP bikes are so much faster than the Formula 125 bikes. And this beautiful little KTM that we've got Taryn McKenzie on here, absolutely gorgeous little bike there, the orange KTM, and he's looking quite quick now.
Yeah, and what I've got to say about Taz as well, he's using that bike in the Red Bull Rookie. It's not an actual particular bike, it's the same bike as KTM, same suspension, same tyres, I believe. So I think that's really good for young Taryn to have somebody that can use in the Red Bull Rookies, which runs alongside MotoGP. So he's going to be getting a lot of experience. But Catherine Green, you've got to take your hats off to her. She is riding the wheels off that thing. Look at the speed of them as they go past Jason Vernon down towards the hairpin. And Catherine Green should have been on the podium at Open Park, outright in the 125 class, until the machine ceased with only a couple of laps to go. I think she was running in second place and at the front lean at one point. So Catherine Green, a very experienced top class level rider.
Quite a couple of girls have come from the 125s. We've had Nicole McAleer, and remember you had Jenny Tinmouth as well. As Catherine has a big look at the top of first corner on Kai Johnson, but just absolutely gets her nose cut off there, then decides to go up the inside of the Scotsman, and then we see Taylor. I was always going to say Taylor. Oh, Catherine runs wide there, and Mackenzie goes back up the front there, and Johnson passed her as well. So just that rush to get past Kai Johnson at the Scotsman corner there caught her out.
Yeah, she had a little bit of a healthy lead there going in, and then she's ended up losing it, and she's lost a fair bit of time to Taz, and young Taryn McKenzie now has probably got a 3-second cushion over Catherine Green, and the laps are reeling down this one, Duncan. I think Catherine's going to have a hard task now of catching up towards the back of young Taryn McKenzie.
Yeah, absolutely. Taz, I remember watching Taylor when he was in the 125, and it just seemed to click for Taylor at Cardwell Park one race meeting while I watched him. He looked absolutely awesome, and Taryn's starting to look a little bit like that. He looks good on the bike. Now what was that? That's not just a tear off there, was it, Dennis?
It could well have been a bit of duct tape off the bike for obviously keeping the temperature right on the radiators, Duncan.
Of course. I like that, Dennis. Dennis smiling away there, proud as punch there. Probably peeling a bit of duct tape off the radiator, letting the temperature come down. If you let a two-stroke go too hot, you lose power. If it goes too cold, there's a fair chance it's going to seize. It's going to keep it in a very small window. It's up the inside. Good grief. Who was that? That wasn't Joe Francis, but that was Jason Vernon getting absolutely done by somebody as they went into Say It Curves there, Dennis.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, I must admit. We obviously missed who that was, and we could see Joe Francis just in the background there coming in towards Butchers and then in towards the John Highway chicane, chasing down Jason Vernon. But out the front, young Taryn McKenzie still got a comfortable lead over Catherine Green at the front. So I think young Taz has definitely got this one in the bag, and he's looking nice and smooth, comfortable there. He's only really small, so there's nothing much to him at all. But he can't ride a bike as Joe Francis passes Jason Vernon down towards the hairpin, and you can see the speed difference of the GP bikes against the Formula bikes. And last lap flag is out, but I must admit it's great to see a lot of 125s out on track together. The younger lads on the Formula 125s are going to pick up so much information from the guys on the GP bikes out there.
Yeah, I'm still a bit nervous after that move we saw at first corner. The Say It Curves, we were on board. But we're following Taryn McKenzie round. He has had the last lap flag. Catherine Green still there, keeping him pretty much honest, and these guys all over the exit curb as they make their way up the back straight towards Clark Corner now. The little KTM, the Red Line Racing KTM, comes through Clark Corner and he gets tucked in. He's just an absolute tiny little guy, absolutely tiny, fits a 125 perfectly, unlike his dad.
I think this could be the first. I think this could be the first ever race that Taryn McKenzie has won, by the way, Duncan. I'm just looking through his CV there. I don't think he's actually won an outright race on the road before. Dennis
pushed me away from the microphone there, Neil, sorry about that. But there you go, taking a win. Taryn McKenzie wins from Catherine Green. Taryn McKenzie does take his first ever race win. So, and he does it here at Knockhill, his home circuit. Absolutely fantastic. He will be delighted at that. Coming into the hairpin, the pint-sized warrior makes his way out and back up into the pit lane. Taryn McKenzie wins from Catherine Green. Lewis Rollo gets up into third place. That's probably who we saw at the first corner there. Joe Francis fourth, Adam McLean, Kai Johnson, Jason Vernon and Cameron Costin comes home in 8th position. Let's hand back down to the pit lane to Joe Tanner.
I'm here with the GP 125, Taryn McKenzie, or Taz McKenzie as you like to get called. Congratulations on that first overall win at what we're going to call your home circuit.
Okay, cheers, thank you. It was a good race. I got the whole shot, and I led it for most of the race, and then my teammate Catherine passed me, and then I think she got caught up with a back marker, and I just went underneath them both and held on to the win.
Third place on the road, Lewis Rollo, a big step up but a good result.
Yeah, well, all weekend we've kind of been struggling trying to get down to Taryn's time and that, but there Ryan just fell off. I would have came fourth, but you've
got to take it when
it's in the race, so I managed to stay on, so I got the third really.
Second place, Catherine, great result. Couldn't quite keep with Taz though.
No, he got a great start, and I managed to learn from his lines in effect, and just stay with him for a bit, and then make my move, and then a few laps later we came across some back markers, and Taz went one way, I went the other, and I think his way was better. But he rode really well, and I just couldn't catch him after that. So.
And our Formula 125 winners, Kai Johnson. These GP 125s are quite quick. It's hard to keep with them.
Yeah, they're pretty hard. They're a lot quicker down the straight, but I seem to keep up with them in the corners.
Welcome to another episode of Racing No Filter. Joining me in sunny California, Bill Wood, and down in sunny Florida, Peter King.
We're going to take a look at some of the products HPD has created for the 2012 Honda Civic, and specifically we're going to show you how to install an adjustable sway bar.
Until then, folks out there, you take care.
The first race for the Superstocks 600 is lined up behind me in the holding bay. Massive grid. Again, we have a new pole position man, or lady, in fact. It's Jodie Chalk. She's been so good this year. Jodie, that first pole position, are you nervous?
Just a little bit, definitely.
I've just been saying you've been doing such a great job this year. These lightning starts, we've seen you leading from the second and third row into the first corner, but now you're in prime position.
Yeah, hopefully. There's a lot of good people here, so there'll be a lot of good starts. If I could just get away and try and get into my own race, that'd be good.
And the man alongside you is a front runner in the British Championship, so that's got to be good for the confidence.
Oh, just a little bit. If he passes me, I'll maybe stay behind him and learn a few things, but I'm going for the win, definitely.
Good luck, it's going to be great to watch.
Thanks very much.
Let's move a little further back down the field. I want to speak to Niall Campbell in the number 38 bike. He's a new face. He's been racing in the British Championship. He's currently 12th overall in the British 600 Superstock Championship, and he's up here as a wee warm-up act for the BSB. Good to see you at Knockhill. Enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's been not too bad, I suppose. The weather's it's been a bit chilly, but at least it's dry, I suppose. Can't complain about that.
Qualified third row. What's the hopes here for the race? What's the result we can get from here?
Well, I got a bit of rubbish qualifying, I suppose, but yeah, so hopefully get a good start, tag along with some of the quick guys, and hopefully get a good set for race 2, and be ready for BSB mainly. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good luck. There we go. We've got a full grid ready to rock. I'll hand it upstairs to Dennis and Duncan, and I'm going to take you through the full grid.
So the grid for the Superstock 600 sees Jodie Chalk take her first pole position ahead of Dan Kinloch, Greg Gilfillan and Brian Duncanson on the front row, the leader of the Scottish Championship. Robertson, Gilfillan, Greg and Paolo are the second row, with Campbell, Shelcock, Frost and Cook. It's going to be a big one, Den. There's a full grid of bikes out here, and it's quite impressive to see Jodie Chalk on her first outright pole position, but also important and impressive to see Greg Gilfillan so far up there.
Yeah, I think Jodie as well, when she was out in qualifying, she was the first one on track, and she set that time all on her own ahead of Daniel Kinloch, Michael Robertson. The rest of the guys were trying to catch her up and set their own personal best qualifying time, but it was Jodie that managed to withhold the pressure and get her head down and pull away from the field for what was a remarkable pole position. Let's hope she can do the same sort of thing in the race coming up now.
Yeah, that man 194 we saw with the orange vest in the front row is Greg Gilfillan on the way, and that's the back of Daniel Kinloch we're looking at now as we power down towards the first C8 corner, and up the inside goes Brian Duncanson, and Michael Robertson comes steaming round the outside of just about everybody there as you go down through lenses. Now we're still looking at the back of Dan Kinloch on the Macadam Appleyard racing bike. Out of Scotsman corner we go, that's Callum Patterson on the left there, and I don't think that was Dan Kinloch we were looking at there, but the red flag suddenly springs out there. Den, we've got a race stop very early doors in this one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Jodie Chalk got a flying start out as we expected from Greg Gilfillan, but that's a 64 machine, Duncan. That's Steve Nicol that's gone down there.
Yeah, Steve Nicol was on the floor there, and hopefully we'll get him onto his feet and we shall get back racing very quickly, and we are getting the bikes back up onto grid positions here. So Typical 600 stuff, red flag straight away. Let's try and get a clean one this time.
Yeah, we've got to remember the winner of the actual Knockhill Motorsports Club 600 Championship gets their entry fees paid for the British Superstocks National Championships next season, which is a fantastic prize.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Higgs, for that one. We're under starters order again here at Knockhill. All eyes will be on the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge. There go the red lights, and we're away again for a second time. It's a cracking start by Sean Gilfillan. But look at Jodie Chalk on that restorative triumph, lead down towards St Curves, and she will peel across the front of everybody. Michael Robertson goes round the outside of Sean Gilfillan, and that was as brave as they possibly come as they get in towards Scotsman Corner. Then that was an extremely brave move there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looked like he was lining up Daniel Kinlock for the inside at Scotsman Corner, which he's done because he's in front. But Jodie Chalk from Brian Duncanson, Michael Robertson, then we've got the machine of Daniel Kinlock, Greg Gilfillan, Sean Gilfillan right behind. I think that's Matthew Powell as well, right in the rear tracks.
Yeah, good to see Dan Kinlock here this time. He didn't get very far. The last time we saw him racing Knockhill, he rolled the bike into all sorts of shapes and sizes at Scotsman Corner. But Jodie Chalk leads on the restorative triumph as Sean Gilfillan goes up the inside of his younger brother and tries to get that position and makes it stick. He's now looking at the back of Kinlock on his R6 Shamrock. Gilfillan right out onto the exit curb and accelerates hard up the main straight. We've got further than we did in the first effort. We've completed a racing lap as they come thundering down towards St Curves, and again it's still Chalk, Duncanson, Robertson and Kinlock as they go through the first corner. Everybody trying to get through the left-hander. That's one you've got to watch. Even on the second, third lap, then you've still got to watch that left-hander.
Yeah, it's the only proper left-hander on the circuit, such you drive down railway towards the hairpin. This is the one where you get banked right over onto the side of the tyre. You're not really driving hard down towards Scotsman Corner because you're carrying so much speed through St Curve and Leslie's. But right in front of Jodie Chalk, looking comfortable at the front. Duncan, we've got to say, she's doing an absolutely fantastic job there. Brian Duncan being followed closely by Michael Robertson, and you think Michael is going to be the man that's going to put the challenge down and try and get to the front as soon as possible, because he won all the races last time out here.
He certainly did. He won all the races, but Brian Duncanson still leads the Scottish Championship, which is what is very important in Brian's eyes. He's on the K6 Suzuki, the John Campbell helped prepared Suzuki, and you see him going over there on the black bike in second place behind the restorative triumph. And if anything, these guys are pulling away from Dan Kinlock, who's sitting in fourth position with the number 26 Macadam Appleyard Yamaha. I was going to say Honda there, that was the previous 125s. The guys are going through Scotsman Corner. Brian Duncanson now starting to chip away at the back of Jodie Chalk as they come through the chicane, and Michael Robertson carries great corner speed through the corner there, and there's going to be something happening probably when they come to the hairpin then, because everybody's starting to bunch up at the front.
I suppose sometimes you've got to think as well, Duncan, it's sometimes easier to follow than it is to lead, but Jodie Chalk looking good at the front, but the guys have managed just to reel her in, but they've not been able to do anything about it. They're close to the back of it, they're not managing to get through. As you look at the 29 machine of Mike Swanson there, just coming through Clark's Corner, being chased down by Sammy Tasker and the likes behind.
That wasn't you plugging your Twitter thing there, easy to follow, is it? At Dennis Hobbs 25, you can find him on Twitter now. But the guys are going over the main straight. Sometimes it is easier to follow. You can say that you're leading from the front, you never know just how hard to push, but these guys are absolutely pushing flat out from one go in this. You can see that as they come through Leslie's again. But Jodie Chalk down at Leslie's, and that bike rolls and rolls into several bits. Let's hope Jodie gets up from that, but that was the famous front end going through the left-hander. She's on her feet, she's absolutely destroyed, and so is that restorative triumph.
I was going to say that's a restorative triumph lead rather than a roof.
Yes, thanks for that, Dennis, but thankfully Jodie got up there. But that just shows you just how hard that she was pushing when she went down at the left-hander there. So that opens the door now in the lead for Brian Duncanson and Michael Robertson, and look at that man in third place. It's Dan Kinlock as Jodie Chalk. You can see the bikes in a few bits, kicks the ground. Dan Kinlock in a fine third place, he'll be taking that, he'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, but he's dropped away off the back of Michael Robertson and Brian Duncanson. You'd think Daniel Kinlock would be one to try and challenge for a victory in this what's going to be his home round, especially when he comes here for BSB in a few weeks' time. So hopefully Daniel can find a little bit of something, as we're looking back at Chris Cook there from Callum Patterson's machine.
I think Dan will be under strict instructions not to do what he done the last time when he was in here, which he done exactly what Jodie Chalk just done. But then we can see that's one of the Bob Grant racing bikes now. I'm just trying to think, is that Paolo or is that Niall Campbell? Difficult to see. We have got Sean Gilfillan at the front of it and Greg Gilfillan behind them. We'll just try and get a look. I think that is actually Campbell, but we'll get an idea on that in just a second. Difficult to see. The number 35 Matt Shelcock mid-pack as well, a little bit strange and out of sorts is Matt Shelcock. We'll look forward to seeing Liam Shelcock back soon. He did break an ankle in a couple of bits, and he seems to be back on his feet and well, so we'll see you soon, Liam Shelcock, no doubt, with the BSB. Meanwhile, we're at the hairpin. There goes your man in the orange vest. That's Greg Gilfillan, a man in his first year of racing, and we look at the little behind of Daniel Kinloch.
Yeah, obviously it's a review facing shot. Different one. See how much the guys move around on the bikes, and Daniel not all moving. It's quite a static ride, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't move the greatest deal, but he's actually looking pretty good here. Actually, I'm not saying his bum looks good, but he's making it look kind of MotoGP style. And Dan will be loving that. He loves a bit of the bling, a bit of the flashiness, the hair straighteners and all that stuff. But over the top of the John Irish chicane, up the back straight, you can see he is moving about quite a bit. Actually, he's working quite hard here, but he isn't looking ragged, which is good to see for Dan.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you say, you're watching this and you think, well, he looks like he should be managing to close down like some Michael Robertson and Brian Duncan in front, but them guys are actually pulling away from Dan, so it's Dan that's need to find a little bit of something later on in the day. Also, we've got another couple of races for the Superstocks 600s coming up, and Daniel definitely needs to try and find something.
Cracking advert for the Pro Series RST leathers here. I'll expect a pair in the post for that. Thank you very much, guys. And now we're on board with Sean Gilfillan, and past him goes Niall Campbell as they go underneath the Beatson's Bound Supply Bridge there, and that was just pure out and out speed there from that Grant Racing R6. And Niall Campbell should be a man. We saw him having quite good results at Alton Park in the BSB. Another man here just gathering some data before the Superbikes come up here shortly. Now who's that we've got on the floor? That's not Gordy McAvoy, is it? Oh dear, he's doing a little bit of a dance here, and suddenly something hurts as he makes his way away from that one. So it's just been a disastrous year for young Gordy, the man who was Mr. Mini Twin last year along with Jordan Fleming.
Yeah, Gordon McAvoy looked really, really good last year, and that looks like a little bit of oil on the track there, to be fair, Duncan.
And here come the leaders. Brian Duncanson's going to be the first man over that, let's hope.
Yeah, red flags are already out there, seen as it came in towards the hairpin. Looked like there was a red flag out at hairpin entrance.
Yeah, there is red flags on the main straight there. Big pool of something fairly nasty on the circuit there, and everybody else backs off. So will that be a result? Don't get that in your feet, buddy. Good man, that's a sensible thing to do there.
It looks like it should be working in an airport.
I was about to say that, yeah. Here comes the aeroplane, but yeah, that's looking like it could be oil. There's a hole in the side of the bike there we can see, and what a disaster. Let's put that thing in the back of the van, and we shall try it all again later on. Yep, race results. Brian Duncanson wins from Michael Robertson, Daniel Kinloch, Niall Campbell, Sean and Greg Gilfillan 5th and 6th, so the Gilfillan posse will be happy with that. Callum Patterson and Matthew Shelcock comes home in 8th position. So let's hand back down to Joe Tanner for some post-race interview.
And the third place man, British Championship regular Danny Kinloch. Great to see you back at Knockhill and a good solid result.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to get a bit of testing before the British in a couple of weeks. But once again, the reason I'm here is to try and improve my starts, because as you can probably see, there was a terrible start. Get a new set of tyres on for the second race. We're using the scrubs that we had from this morning, and I think we can pick up the pace. Yeah.
Especially at the first round, we saw you qualify really, really quick. It was a 52 something, and then at the start went backwards, and here again gone backwards. What can you do to improve these getaways?
I'm not too sure if it's well, I was obviously disappointed in qualifying that we never got near to the 52.6 or whatever we did before. Slightly, I don't know whether the track's as fast as it was, but I know a couple of other riders have been improving their times, but not really too sure. But again, I don't want to go total the bike again like I did last time. So
that would be a good plan. Well done for the result.
Yeah, just like to say thanks to Mum and Dad, all my sponsors, especially Columbus Legal, Team Appleyard for learning the bike, and just everyone that's helped me so far. Thank you.
Well done, Danny.
Cheers.
And the second place man, it's not very often we say that, Michael Robertson qualified, I'm going to say badly, but managed to almost take that win.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit frustrating actually. I was sitting there, qualifying wasn't the best. I had a bit of a crash yesterday going into the hairpin under braking, but it's always on the back of my mind. It's confidence on tyres, but I was sitting there, I was quicker than Brian at some parts. Jody was going well, quite a good pace, comfortable to sit there. Fortunately Jody went down, but I thought Brian, that's it, hopefully we'll go for it. But round the back I seemed to be quicker than him, he was gaining on me at the hairpin, and just so hard trying, but I think it was lacking confidence after yesterday. But then red flag came out, so yeah, a bit devastated, but it's still another race to go.
Exactly, another race to take that win, and no doubt that's what we'll see, but well done.
Thank you very much.
And the winner, Brian Campbell. Let's start from the very beginning. Jodie was away and then she went down. I didn't see it. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, she just tipped into Duffus. Just when we flicked left, just lost the front and down she went. So that was it from there. Just led it until it was stopped, quite happy.
Did you know Michael was coming?
I knew he was there, I knew he'd be pretty quick right enough, but he seemed to be struggling a little bit into the hairpin, which helped me, so try and get away in the front again and see if we can do 2 in a row.
2 in a row would be nice. Well done on the first win.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I want to speak to a man who isn't a rider. It will be Neil McKenzie. Neil, our club president, if you like. You're here on slightly different duties this weekend, though. You've got a young man on the grid in a GP125.
Yeah, I got young Taz out on his KTM and in the 125 class, which is great. We've got BSB up here in a couple of weeks, so it's great testing for him, and a couple of the other BSB guys up this weekend as well.
This is the first time I've seen you at one of our Knockhill meetings, our Scottish Championship meetings now this year. Big development from last year?
Oh, great, yeah. I mean, lots of improvements. I knew over the winter what was going to happen, and great to see entries are up. Generators in the paddock, nice quiet paddock at night, nice quiet generators, everybody got power, makes things safer for the tyre warmer situation, and of course with fantastic weather this year.
I was just going to say, some great weather as well, we planned that.
Yeah. Best weather in the country today, so it's overall successful meeting and just lots of smiling faces, and last year was a building year for the club to build confidence into the riders and the teams and the sponsors and everyone involved really. And I think it was seen that we did a good job. We're all here doing it because we're passionate about racing. We're a friendly bunch here at Knockhill, and we want it to work, and we want to invest any funds and any ideas and make it better and better every year.
So, for the Knockhill Motorsports Club Formula 125 and GP125 race, we have got the front row looking like this. We've got Mackenzie, Green, Rollo and Francis. McLean, Johnson and Vernon are the second row. Costin, McGaw, Robson and Page, with Costin and Watson bringing up the rear. Ryan Watson, let's hope he's got that thing fixed. Fantastic weather conditions. Nice to hear from the club president Neil Mackenzie there, Dennis. And yeah, you can echo his thoughts. It's going well this year.
Yeah, definitely good to see a good grid of numbers, and like I say, Knockhill Motorsports Club doing a fantastic job. They've done the grids in the garages, so everyone's going out straight onto the track with warm tyres. It's an absolute fantastic thing. If only could do that at other meetings around the country, it'll make racing so much better as well. But doing a fantastic job. We've got Clark of the course, Ian Forrest and Sandy Forrest, so these guys doing a great job looking after the guys as well.
Look at those guys in the front row of the grid. They mean absolute business. And down towards first corner, the GP125s roar away from the Formula 125 Aprilias, and it's going to be Mackenzie that leads it towards first corner from Green, down through Sate Curves, get it back to Leslie's there, and get the thing pulled up on the brakes for Scotsman. That's Lewis Rollo in a fine third position.
You've got to be impressed with Lewis Rollo. First time on a GP125 bike, stuck it in third place in the first race, obviously after the mishap of the Colin Appleyard Macadam rider Ryan Watson. But like you say, a fantastic first time out, and only 0.8 of a second off the quickest lap of the race as well, so impressive stuff. And he's going to be getting quicker and quicker as the weekend and as the meeting goes on. He's being chased hard by now by Joe Francis right behind.
Yeah, Joe Francis on the Pete Banks bike. Pete Banks has been a man who's been into Grand Prix 125 racing for a long, long time. And there's young Lewis Rollo, and they're almost coming together, the pair of them, as they come through the corner there. I do like the colours of young Lewis Rollo's bike. I think that's pretty fantastic, actually. The very Honda. I'm getting a wee tap there, tapping the back of the seat. Follow me, and I'll drag you down there. Will Lewis Rollo take to that, or will he just try and pass him straight away? On board with Jason Vernon, chasing Kai Johnson as they're coming towards first corner, Sate Curves. And this is the battle of the Formula 125s. Kai Johnson has he's come alive now that he's got the Aprilia. He was in the Metro kit last year, and if it wasn't for Lewis Rollo kind of giving him a hard time at the start of the year, Kai Johnson would be the man out there.
Yeah, and also looked like in the background that Gillian McGaw was having a look up the inside of Cameron Corson at the top of Sate Curve as well, so it'll be interesting to see what the outcome of that one was.
Back at the hairpin, we have got the leaders coming through and making their way up the main straight. It's still Mackenzie from Green, and then we've got the Pete Banks racing bike off. Dennis, help me out.
Joe Francis.
Thank you very much, Joe Francis. Rather embarrassing red moment in the commentary box there. And then we've got Lewis Rollo from just over the water on the other side of Edinburgh. The corner speed these guys carry is absolutely ferocious, Dennis. And if you ever want to get a good true speed sensation here at Knockhill from watching the inside of first corner, stand beside the Marshalls at the inside of Sate Curves, and it is absolutely fantastic.
And to be fair, the amount of work that Knockhill have done over the close season for the spectators alike, from the first corner right away through towards Clark's, has been phenomenal, and it's a great place to watch no matter where you are, as Jason Vernon goes up the inside of Kai Johnson at Sate Curve.
Yeah, classic bit of slipstream in there, getting in the hole in the air behind the bike in front and just getting towed up, then having to pop out and get past at the last possible minute. A very, very good overtaking manoeuvre by young Jason Vernon. Kai Johnson will not be a happy bunny about that one, but still they're racing hard round the back of the circuit here, and let's try and catch up with Mackenzie if we can. Here they come out the main straight. It's Mackenzie and Green pulling away at the front now from Francis.
Yeah, and they're just going past Fraser Corson there, so good to see everyone learning the training, getting plenty of track time. But the 125s, these GP bikes are absolutely flying. Young Tyron McKenzie looking really good. Obviously won his first ever race earlier on today, so he's over the moon about that, but being chased hard by Catherine Green, who was leading for a fair bit. As we look back at Jason Vernon now, and we've got young Kai Johnson side by side up the start-finish straight.
Yeah, just how good is Catherine Green? She's really, really impressive, and just a little bit unfortunate work. And look at the shadow on the right hand side as Dennis points the screen. The shadow on the right hand side is Kai Johnson, and who's going to be brave on the brakes at first corner, say curves, and it's Vernon who comes just across the front, and there wasn't a lot of room in that. And now Catherine Green's under all sorts of pressure from Francis at the hip, and young Lewis Rollo hanging in there well.
Yeah, and Lewis Rollo, like I say, keep saying it, Duncan, but first time on a GP bike, and the guys ahead of him have been at the front of BSB in the Formula 125 or GP 125 class, I should say, especially Catherine Green. She was almost on the podium there a few weeks back, so this is great stuff from young Lewis Rollo. He's a young talent, only 13 years of age.
How are we going to see him at the BSB? That's what we want to know. We'd love to see a local here at BSB. Look at Mackenzie go round it, say to Kai Johnson. Kai Johnson will think he's absolutely on it there, and yes, but they're on completely different motorcycles. You've got to remember that. The little GP 125 bikes that you see Taron Mackenzie and Catherine Green riding, they're proper factory bikes that have been built for racing. The bikes that Kai Johnson, Jason Vernon, well, they're road bikes that have been adapted to make them into race bikes. There's different engine components, all sorts of things, suspension, but yeah, overall the Grand Prix 125 bikes are lots faster.
Yeah, just looking back at Taz again now, and he's looking comfortable. He's got a nice big lead in this one. He's under no pressure whatsoever, and that's a great thing for young Taz. Like I say, last time out he was in the lead, we dropped back to second, had a hard time. Catherine Green got caught up, that's what got him the win, but this time he's pulling away at the front, and here's that battle for second place between Catherine Green and Joe Francis that is going on at the moment.
Yeah, let's hope they both manage to make it to the finish. And there's Lewis Rollo in fourth position, and I really do like the colour scheme on little Lewis's Honda there. But in towards Scotsman corner goes and who's that down the road? That's Catherine Green. She's gone down to the left-hander. Oh dear.
Did she lose it on the left, or did she lose it on the brakes in towards Scotsman corner?
I don't know, we didn't actually see her there. I'm just having a guess. Well, she's on the inside, so that must have been the left hand, and the bike's gone straight up the middle of the road. So Catherine, unfortunate. What did I just say there? It's a commentator's curse.
Yeah, and here we go, is he on board? Oh, you can just see the front fold away, pretty like what we've seen previously with Douglas Brown, lost the front at the bottom of Leslie's end. Catherine Green's done the same thing, took the front, and the bike slid all the way across the track.
I've seen you do that.
I've not done it on the left, have I?
Yeah. So Mackenzie now with a nice big lead at the front. He'll be getting a good pit board from his dad. Neil Mackenzie, the club president, on the pit wall, but he's up towards the checker flag, and Tam takes a classy win. He led from the front, as Dennis said there. He didn't have to wait on a mistake, and in second place it's going to be going to have to be a photo finish there, Den. Photo finish, and here come the Formula 125s. Kai Johnson just nips ahead of Jason Vernon on the run to the line, so he wins the Formula 125 class. But yeah, who got second place here then?
It looked like young Lewis Rollo was having a good run, but as it was, Lewis Rollo did get it.
Well, there you go. Mackenzie from Rollo and Francis. Adam McLean in fourth position. Kai Johnson, Jason Vernon, Cameron Costin, and Gillian McGaw home in 8th position in the 125s there.
Taron, not Taz. Yeah. Taron Mackenzie. Well done. Another win. Yeah. Easy.
I wouldn't say it's easy. I got pressured by Kat. I kept seeing +0 on my board the whole time, but I think she crashed in the end. But I got, in the last 3 laps, I started pushing a bit more, and I got +1, and then I got +2, so held it to line, and so it was a really good race.
I'm here with our runner-up in a topsy-turvy race, Lewis Rollo. Run us through what happened, because so many things went on in that race.
Well, Taron just ran away with it. He was flying, and then I ran off the track. I was trying to pass the back markers around like the outside, and then I got pushed off the track, but then Kat fell off, and Joe got held up a bit, and then I was catching Joe, and then just that last lap I was right on his tail, and then when I went into the hairpin I just had no choice. I just stuck it right up the inside of him and managed to get the bike turned in time, and I managed to get up, but his bike was just absolute flying ship, and it just came right up along beside me. I was just looking at him like, come on bike, come on, but I managed to get over the line and get second.
Joe Francis, 3rd place, got mugged at the end there by Lewis.
Yeah, it just got me on the line because the calf put a bit. When calf crashed, I nearly crashed as well, so I calmed it down a little bit on them last few laps.
Calmed it down a little bit too much. Did you know he was there, and did you know he was that close?
No, he just come underneath me, and I got the drive, but I thought I might have got him because I didn't know where the line was.
And the Formula 125 winner, Kai Johnston, outshone a little bit today because of the GP 125s at the front, but nevertheless you are our outright winner for the Formula 125s.
Yeah, I was battling with Jason because he got past me in the corner, and then I was battling with him for the last couple of laps, and I got past him in the last corner, so I was happy.
Leading it right now is Kai Johnston from Lewis Rollo and Jason Vernon, Ashley Robson, Tommy Page and Gillian McGaw. So Kai Johnston at the front of the championship in the Formula 125s.
With so much racing going on in the world, you'd have to be a four-headed monster to keep up with it all. Luckily, we have that. Join Peter Keane, Bill Wood, Errol Tucker, and their guest driver analyst each week for an opinionated look at the news coming out of the racing world. Remember, it's GoRacingTV.com for all your racing and video needs.
Superstocks 600 race number 2 is lined up behind me, and we're almost ready to go for the start, but we've got a wee chance to catch up with a few people. I want to talk quickly to Jodie Chalk. She's having a wee moment. Have you got 2 seconds? Sorry to interrupt. Jodie, it looked like that first win was on the cards there in the first race. You tipped off. Doesn't look like you got too much damage. You've a second chance now for that first win.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate that I came off, but it's just one of these things when you're pushing it happens. But we've got the second bike, so should be good to go. We'll give it another bash.
You say it's a different bike?
Yeah, we've got 2 bikes. One's the R, and that's the standard bike. So
you're not looking to go as quick on this one, or is it going to be the same?
We'll find out now.
Good stuff. It'll be good to watch. If you swing around that way, you'll see the man that's probably going to give her a pretty good challenge, which is Danny Kinlock. I won't speak to Danny because he's a nervous chap. He doesn't like talking to me at the best of times, but he lines up here second on the grid, running in the British Championship as well. We're delving a little deeper, and I want to talk to John Frost. Where is he? Has he disappeared? See if I can find him anywhere. Okay, we'll cancel that. We'll go with Owen Fozzard. Here he is. We've not caught up with you yet this year. 400 champion from last year, stepped up onto the 600. How's the season going so far?
It's going okay. I'm not really quick enough yet, but I'm going quicker every time, so I'll get there hopefully soon enough.
You're nearer the front than the back?
Nearer the front than the back, yeah, so keep chipping away at it and I'll get there hopefully soon enough.
Good stuff, good luck with that. Still no John Frost. We'll delve a little deeper, see what we can find. Who we got? Stuart Jackson. Let's speak to this man here, and he's got alongside him Mark Fern. Mark, who normally races here. Mark, you can join in with us. First of all, Mark, why are you not racing today?
Lack of funds, basically.
Lack of funds.
I'm spanning for this man here.
You're spanning for the boss.
Yeah, he's keeping us busy today.
Stuart, you've been down the road. Sorry to butt across you here. Stuart, you've been down the road again.
Yeah.
Are you still enjoying this?
Yeah, I do enjoy it, to be honest. It was a simple mistake I made in the first in qualifying. And then we're going into the first race. I noticed I had a bit of leak coming from my master cylinder, so I kind of puts a wee bit of the willies up you. I just thought, just take it easy and then come in.
The bikes, it's only round 2 of the Scottish Championship. The bike's already looking a little bit second hand. What is it you do for a living again?
Funnily enough, I repair bikes.
Exactly, you paint bikes for a living, so you're going to be kept busy. Good luck, keep it upright. I'll hand it to Dennis and Dunk for a run through of the grid.
So the grid for the Superstock race sees Jodie Chalk on the front row again on her spare bike ahead of Dan Kinloch, Gilfillan and Duncanson. That's obviously Greg Gilfillan. We've got Robertson, Sean Gilfillan and Matty Paolo on the second row of the grid. Great to see Jodie Chalk has managed to get a spare bike together for that, Dennis, because obviously that first one took the main bike, the Restore Roof Tram, took a bit of a thump down there.
Yeah, it's going to take a fair bit of rebuild. It's going to keep Garfield busy for a few hours in the garage, but she's riding a bike that she's not rode all season in this one, Duncan, so it's completely new to her again. Although it's her old race bike, she's not rode it all year, and she's definitely not rode it this weekend, so she's going to jump out there and race it from pole position, so best of luck to Jodie in this one.
Yeah, Chalky's been in the garage building bikes for years, though. He's used to that. And good to see Stuart Jackson out there. Unfortunately, another little slip off for Stuart, but I'm pretty sure he'll get that bike repaired and we'll see it back to us in a nice clean set-off. Green flag at the back. There's Kim running against the pit wall. Our cameraman, and we're waiting on the lights on the bridge. On go the lights, and away we go. We're racing here at Knockhill, and it's a good start from Callum Parson. And look at Owen Fuzzer going backwards. That's a good start by Dan Kinloch, if that's him second place into towards straight curves. Round the outside though goes Michael Robertson again. How brave is this young man as he goes through straight curves? And Leslie's, can he get the thing stopped for Scotsman in time? We're looking ahead to the top of the camera, the top of the picture for the leaders there as we're on board with Sean Gilfillan, and it's Kinloch who will be in third position. Robertson got to the front from Jody Chalk. Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, Michael Robertson very confident through the top of St Curve down in towards Leslie's on the first opening lap. He carries maximum speed and makes that count for him. And Jody Chalk, you've got to be pleased with that for a start. Obviously, like I say, a bike that she's just getting used to again out there. Duncan sitting in second place at the moment. Obviously, early days in the race. Daniel Kinlock let in for Brian Duncan up the inside of young Greg Gilfillan there into fourth, and then we've got sixth place Matthew Shelcock in the mix this time.
Yeah, good to see Dan getting a good start there on the silver Yamaha. He's already in third position. Up the main straight they go, and keep your eyes on Greg Gilfillan, number 194, the first of the orange bikes in the pack there with the orange vest on. Novice rider and a very, very quick man through the left-hander. Will that be playing on Jody Chalk's mind? That's where Chalky slung it up the road in the first race in the Restore Roof Triumph. Let's see how she gets and copes with lap times.
Yeah, she's looking like she's hanging on towards the back of Michael Robertson there, but next time through, see if we have an odd-board a front-facing view of St Curve. Michael Robertson using the extra bit of the pit lane as he swoops across. A nice little smooth line that he uses there.
He's mega, isn't he? The confidence he had on the first lap going through St Curves there was terrifying when we were on board. So here they come round towards the hairpin. It is Mick Robertson leading the way from Jody Chalk. Dan Kinloch, Brian Duncanson has still got Greg Gilfillan behind him. Then a little gap back to Zap now Campbell going up the inside. Oh, Callum Patterson very late on the brakes past Sean Gilfillan there. Gilfillan will get a good onboard shot from Sean. He will be a little bit nerved that his little baby brother is ahead of him on the track here, so let's see. But yeah, into the pit exit, that's kind of Mackenzie-esque from Mick Robertson there, isn't it? Well, no, so you see Campbell doing it as well, the Bob Grant racing bike.
Yeah, Greg Gilfillan there, like say, he's doing a fantastic job out there this weekend, and they say you've got to be impressed with him. I think Sean is going to have to up his game now because Greg is overcoming him, isn't he? Like say, first year's racing. Yeah,
well, we'll see what happens as they go on. Campbell has just snicked past Shellcock there, and up the back straight those guys go. Keep your eye on Patterson with the turquoise bike at the back, a very hard charger with some charges that a little bit too hard into the hairpin early doors. But let's see as the laps unfold who does what. And I'll tell you what, Greg Gilfillan is hanging in with the current championship leader Brian Duncanson, and he's got a nice healthy gap behind him, but you can't count out the Bob Grant racing bike. These bikes are properly prepared. And Matt Shelcock just off the back of that as they go over the patch of cement dust. We're up the main straight to knock off another lap. P3 for Dean there. That's Dean Brown's pitboard that Dan Kinloch's got, so he's not got his own pitboard yet, but we'll get there soon.
That's it. Obviously he's sitting there in third place, which has been, I think that's where he finished in the first race of the day, Duncan, so he'll obviously be happy with a podium spot, but they want to be further up. They want to try and get past Jody and try and chase down Michael Robertson, because Michael Robertson is actually pulling away at the front as we're looking back towards Greg Gilfillan at the moment.
That was Callum Patterson who's just made his way past there. So Greg Gilfillan just off the back of Brian Duncanson just now. And Brian Duncanson will be maybe not thinking of championship right now, because this is the Knockhill Motorsports Club Championship race. This isn't the Scottish one as they head round towards the hairpin. And Jody Chalk holding her own over Dan Kinloch in third position. Sammy Tasker just flies past shot there. As we go further back down is Grant Campbell.
Yeah, good to see Grant Campbell out there, and like I said, picking up his confidence after what was a major incident in the very first round of the year. But Grant Campbell, a nice young lad, and he's just improving all the time as well as we look back towards Michael Robertson. And remembering again, Duncan, there's battles all the way through the field, and this in a full grid, and we'll be able to see these guys racing alongside the British Superbikes at Knockhill on the 22nd to the 24th of June, which is going to be mega.
Yeah, look forward to seeing the likes of Mick Robertson and Dan Kinloch, and we're going to see a whole host of super fast riders from the Scottish scene in with the British guys, so it's going to be a cracker. They're starting to bunch up behind Chalky now. They're starting to get on the back of Jody Chalk. Dan Kinloch's going to have to try and make a move soon, because he can see Mick Robertson disappearing ahead of these guys, and he'll hear that howling Suzuki of Brian Duncanson and Sean Gilfillan's orange Kawasaki behind them, and it's not really what you want as you go further back in the pack. Graham Purry dives up the inside of Owen Fuzzard. Fuzzard says no. Fuzzy chops the nose off there, and it's just good to see Owen Fuzzard racing again, because he had such bad luck at the start of the year.
Yeah, we're just looking back at John Frost and Chris Cook now as they come round the hairpin back up onto the start finish straight, and just it's good seeing John Frost out there having such a strong ride, which is in a field full of young lads that are hot up and coming, and you got John Frost out there, not on the newest of bikes, but doing a fantastic job out the front.
So Angus Mearns getting shown the edge of the track there as we go up the main straight with somebody's knee. Absolutely no room at the end for you to come through here as they all come in towards the St Curves just now. A whole big gang of riders here, and those guys, that was a bit close with Fuzzard there, you see that?
Yeah, there's the 6 riders all scrapping together, and that's one of the races you really enjoy being involved in. Obviously you'd be better if at the end of the race if you're at the front of it, but actually being involved in a proper scrap and a proper race is what it's all about, and makes racing really enjoyable.
through the John O'Reilly chicane. The guys come up the back straight just now. Let's look further down that field if we can. Graham Purry was at the back, and Graham Purry did try and get a good move earlier on, but he kind of didn't make any headway at Clark's the last time. But they're still heading out towards the hairpin. And Fuzzer's done quite good, because he tipped off in the very first test session of the year. He fell off in the first couple of races, so it just hasn't been very good for him at all.
Yeah, that bike was only a few miles old, wasn't it? And put a few battle scars on it. But Owen Fuzz, I'd like to say, just getting used to riding the 600, and he's doing a good job learning, getting better every weekend. But the battle is on for second place, and Brian Dunstan's passed Daniel Kinloch and is right behind Jody Chalk now. So Daniel Kinloch's fading off.
Yeah, the John Campbell Suzuki there that Brian Duncanson is on, the black Suzuki. It's a K6 bike, so it's not the newest of Suzuki's out. There's sparks from that. You see that? That does look pretty cool.
Yeah, I think obviously Jody's Triumph's probably a similar sort of age, so both bikes are in second and third place. Like 5-6-year-olds, so very impressive stuff that they've been so competitive still in this class. And you've got Daniel Kinloch on the latest Yamaha R6 with young Sean Gilfillan right on his wheel tracks.
Yep, you got to look out for Sean Gilfillan, Greg Gilfillan, sorry, he is doing a cracking job there on that bike. Up the main straight we go. We've still got Fozzie right in the middle of this big battle here. Now we're used to seeing him right at the front of the pack, aren't we? We used to see him battling all the way up there for the lead, but here we come back up to the front of the pack just now. It is Chalk and Duncanson. Oh, and that second and third position goes Mick Robertson, has still checked out as they come through. Clark, Connor, Kinloch, and then Greg Gilfillan.
For me, this is one of the rides of the day by Jody Chalk, because after what happened in the first race, big crash, bottom of Leslie's, destroyed the bike on a spare bike. She's not rode all day as she gets passed by Brian Duncanson there. She's doing a great job holding the podium position, holding second place all the way through the race up to this point, which is now the last lap, and she's side by side with Duncanson up over the start finish straight and gets back into second place.
Yeah, she's a light wee feather. She will win a drag race, that's for sure, but she got better drive at the hairpin there, because Brian Duncanson did have a bubble, but Brian Duncanson brave on the brakes as they get back into towards straight curves here, and he takes the lead. We're going back into the mid pack here as Angus Mearns, Owen Fuzzer and Graham Purry are still battling tooth and nail, but we want to try and catch back up to the front, guys. That's an important battle for us to see, and here comes your leader, number 99 Mick Robertson. It's still Duncanson from Chalk in the background as they come out of the John O'Reilly chicane. Mick Robertson looks like he's got this one smooth and done, posted away in the back. He's got this one, but let's see what the battle's going to happen for second place. Who's your 50 pence on Den?
It looks like Duncanson's got a couple of bikes advantage as it comes down towards the hairpin ahead of Jody Chalk, so it looks like Duncanson might just have enough of an advantage in this one. Michael Robson, nice and classy there, backs it in so smooth down in towards the hairpin as we look at Sean Gilfillan down into the hairpin.
Sean Gilfillan on board there, but Mick Robertson wins the race. Second place is gonna be, oh, how close do you like it coming to the hairpin? That was almost a T-bone, and Callum Patterson gets the drive on Sean Gilfillan. He loses another place, but second place looked like it was going to be Brian Duncanson, and third place did look like Jody Chalk got it, but it's all happening at the last corner to absolutely everybody. Sean Gilfillan, he will be absolutely spitting after that one.
I think it was Matt Shelcock that came across the front of him initially, wasn't it? Then Patterson side by side over the top, but what a fantastic race at the front. Michael Robinson, we know he's a class act, absolutely dominant style in that race and takes the win quite comfortably.
Close, do you like it? Mick Robertson wins from Brian Duncanson. Jody Chalk, fine podium position. Dan Kinloch, Greg Gilfillan, Niall Campbell, Matt Shelcock and Callum Patterson just overhauls Sean Gilfillan right at the very end. Cracking Superstock race. Let's head down to Joe Tanner to get the interviews from the guys and the girls and find out just exactly how they're feeling.
Third place over the line, Jody Chalk. It could have been a win. It should have been second, but third, still a great result.
Oh, I'm absolutely chuffed with that. I'm over the moon. Couldn't be any happier with that.
On the spare bike as well?
Yeah, definitely. Had a wee bit of trouble because it's not got quick shifter on it, so I've got a bit of arm pump, but apart from that, it's brilliant. Good fun.
And the second place man, Brian Campbell, race 1 winner. It wasn't enough to beat Michael, but you got Jody there right at the very end.
Yeah, I had a bit of a hard time at the start there, but towards the end we were getting back to Michael, but he was away, he was gone by that time. So
if you give him an inch, he takes it, doesn't he?
That's it. He was away from I think the first lap. He was into the lead, and that was him. He was gone. So
Superstock 600 winner, a man that we're used to seeing winning. Michael, that was a bit more like it.
Yeah, I mean the first race, to be honest, as I was going round, I was comfortable at the pace we were doing, and unfortunately it got red flags, so they called that result. But I mean, I went out there with determination and went from the word go, and yeah, it worked in my favour.
So the championship positions for the Superstocks are Michael Robertson, Brian Duncanson, and even missing a meeting, Mark Fern still holds third place. From Matt Shelcock, Liam Shelcock, Jody Chalk up to 6th position with Sean Gilfillan 7th and Callum Patterson in 8th place.
There we go, 3 action-packed Superstock 600 races. Unfortunately, that's the end of the programme. It's all we have time for, but do join us later in the year as there's plenty more action still to come.